LiveHipHopDaily.tv.
We are back. I hope you just enjoyed our little slate of videos. Giving you a little break, kick back, enjoy yourself. That was just Meek Mill with his latest video, Glowed Up. Now, I just gave you guys a brief message via social media. We let you guys know before we kicked off this segment that we'll be moving on to the NBA Finals. And we're going to have H and Danny joining on a discussion with us because privately we've been talking about the NBA Finals for the past few weeks. Amongst our circles, amongst ourselves privately. As I gave mention a little while ago, I'm a diehard Lakers fan, but for the past 5 seasons, I've been rooting for the Warriors. So I didn't just start liking the Warriors when Steve Kerr came there. I've been a Steph Curry fan since Davidson. So a lot of my homies don't really give me flack on cheering for the Warriors these days because I've been doing it for some years now. However, things aren't going the way that many folks outside of myself, how they thought it would go. Last year, we all know about the 3-1 comeback and all that. I'm just gonna call it what I know it to be. Bullshit. Whenever people talk about LeBron and this 3-1 deficit, they leave out a lot of details. And in life, the small details a lot of times can help you find results. So we're going to backtrack. Before we get to 2017, we're going to backtrack and speak on 2013. Last year. Folks keep saying to me, oh, we're okay. This same thing happened last year. And I'm going to break this down. This may be a little sexist. Some of my female viewers may be a little offended. I apologize if y'all get upset about this comparison. But to me, when people talk about the Golden State Warriors, the 2016 Golden State Warriors and the 2017 Golden State Warriors, it's like talking about two chicks, right? It's like talking about that chick, Diana, who you met in 2015. You ain't want to holler at her. She ain't had no body. Her hair was nappy, X, Y, and Z. Then in 2017, she goes to see Mr. Miami. And she comes back, and she got this fat ass out of nowhere, these double Ds, this long, I don't know what type of weave y'all women wear. My woman doesn't wear a weave. Some long Brazilian weave and whatnot. It's a whole nother woman. It's a whole nother ball game. And you're still trying to approach this slim little skinny chick that you shitted on a few years ago, who now is this behemoth of a woman who been dealing with all type of asshole nigga. So her whole character has changed. And that's what we have when we have the Golden State Warriors of today versus the Golden State Warriors last year. Now, if we're going to talk about the Cavaliers making NBA history, overcoming the 3-1 deficit, we must talk about what allowed that to happen. First, I'm not quite sure how many of you guys are avid book readers, but if you have not yet, you need to read 2 books, 48 Laws of Power and The Art of War. LeBron James has read those books. He studied those books, and I give him props for that. What he did was, in Game 4, I believe it was exactly what Draymond Green's mother was on First Take this morning. She spoke on that. He outsmarted Draymond. He got him. You talk trash to the trash talker, get him to bite, and get him kicked out. So that's one domino down, okay? We get the engine to the ship down. Game 5, where Draymond is phantomly suspended by the NBA, Andrew Bogut gets hurt. So now the Cavaliers couldn't attack the rim. They couldn't go to the rim. They were having issues at the rim. Bogut gets hurt, and all of a sudden, LeBron and Kyrie both have 40-point games. That didn't happen until Andrew Bogut got hurt. Steph Curry was injured in the first round of the playoffs last year, missed a few games. Honestly, I believe if he was not the NBA MVP, he wouldn't have been out there. But when you're the MVP, you got to get out there. He had to get out there and do what he needed to do. Unfortunately, it was not enough. So LeBron and them, they do what they need to do. They handle their business on their side of the ball game. They overcome a 3-1 deficit. We didn't even talk about Harrison Barnes. I didn't mention Harrison Barnes because he didn't appear in the finals last year. So why talk about him? Shit, he shot 16%. I mean, my daughter could shoot better than that, and she literally could shoot better than that. So the Warriors sit back. They see LeBron with the Ultimate Warrior shirt. They see the Halloween party with the band down 3-1. They go to Oracle on Christmas, and it's a phantom poster that had never been there before of LeBron blocking Andre Iguodala's shot in Game 7 wearing the championship ring. So now he was on the court with the damn ring on when he made the block and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? The Warriors have been hearing this all year long. They bring over Kevin Durant to replace Harrison Barnes, another gentleman who's had his own trials and tribulations with LeBron. LeBron beat him in the finals in 2012. A young Kevin Durant, a young Russell Westbrook, and James Harden, who didn't even show up, facing a seasoned LeBron who had already lost as a member of the Cavaliers in the finals, had lost as a member of the Heat in the finals. So now he was playing carefree. He was an experienced LeBron James. Now KD is on this team. So you have Draymond Green, who's been suspended. He's hearing all the chitter chatter. You got Kevin Durant, who's sick of being number 2. He's hearing all the chitter chatter. You got Steph Curry, the NBA's first unanimous MVP, who's still being belittled, and, it's all this daddy's boy, and he's soft, all this chitter chatter. They hear it. They heard it. Game 2 last night of the 2017 NBA Finals. Now, many folks that, as I've given mention to, a lot of my friends are Cleveland fans. They're LeBron fans, they Cleveland fans, or they're just rooting for the Cavs because they know I want to see the Warriors win. People were telling me, the Cavs are going to sweep the Warriors. The Warriors aren't this. The Cavs did this in the East. The Cavs beat the Paul George and the weak-ass Indiana Pacers, and they played the Raptors and Kyle Lowry. All this boo-hoo-hoo. LeBron is the king. He's better than Jordan. All this. I patiently tried to explain to them gentlemen, the NBA is about matchups. And if LeBron and KD cancel each other out, which up until this point they have not done, because Kevin Durant is shitting on LeBron James to this point. It's only 2 games. It's only 2 games. But through 2 games, Kevin Durant is the best player on the floor. I'm not gonna go as far as saying he's the best player in the world or anything outrageous like that. He's one of the top players in the world, very true. However, his performance so far in these first 2 games of the finals has been phenomenal. And for all of you guys who are going to comment or text in and call in and say, well, it's easy to do when you have other All-Stars on the floor. Please remember, hold up, before you say that, I met y'all a few years ago, so y'all weren't around for that. When LeBron went to Miami, that was my whole spiel. It's like, he's going to put up numbers with Chris Bosh, who spaces the floor like this is a big man, and Dwayne Wade, who is a slasher. Oh, no. So if Kevin Durant is benefiting because of All-Stars being on the court, please believe LeBron James does too. Please, these arguments, the fans can't. You have to stop contradicting yourself, LeBron lovers. Like, if y'all gonna say LeBron is better than Jordan because of stats, and then people bring up stats where he's not better than Jordan, you got to live with that. If you're going to say that Kevin Durant had to go join a team of All-Stars to win a championship, LeBron had to form a team of All-Stars. You got to deal with that. So we're going to get into game 2. Me personally, before the series began, I picked the Warriors in 5. I really wanted to say the Warriors in 4. But out of the respect that I have for the player that LeBron James is and the player that Kyrie Irving is, I didn't see them getting swept. So I gave it the so-called gentleman's sweep with the Warriors winning in 5. I thought they would go back. I actually predicted the Warriors to win these first 2. Now, I predicted the Cavaliers to win game 3. My prediction may vary, but that was the game I gave them. I predicted the Cavaliers to win game 3, then lose game 4 on Friday, and then when the series shifted back to Oakland for game 5, that's when I saw the Warriors wrapping it up. But last night, the Golden State Warriors took a 2-0 lead in the series after moving on to a 132-113 victory over the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, we're not going to act like LeBron James has just been invisible throughout this series, because he's been putting up numbers. That's what he does. He put up a triple-double last night, and we must commend him because he passed Magic Johnson. I believe last night was his 8th time putting up a triple-double in the NBA Finals, passing Magic Johnson. Phenomenal stat. We can't take anything away from that. He finished the game with he played 39 minutes. He finished the game with 29 points, 11 rebounds, and 14 assists. So LeBron did come to play last night. Kevin Love came to play last night. Now, to me, I was thinking that Draymond Green would get the best of Kevin Love in this series. Throughout the first 2 games, I honestly must say Kevin Love has gotten the best of Draymond Green on the offensive side of the ball. Last night, Kevin Love finished the game with 27 points. He had 7 rebounds. And it just didn't seem like last night that Draymond Green was really getting into Kevin Love's head, but it also didn't seem like Kevin Love's points were coming at a time where they were really factors. Like he didn't have any key buckets or clutch buckets, because for the majority of the game, especially in the second half, the Warriors had a 16-point lead, which eventually grew to 22 points. So although Kevin Love was getting a few second chance opportunities and things of that nature, his 29 points wasn't very impactful. It wasn't very impactful at all. And then we also must go into Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving had 19 points, but he seemed to struggle so far. He was only 8 from 23 from the field. And having defenders such as Andre Iguodala, then Klay Thompson shifting back and forth on him, bigger defenders, it seemed like it's caused Kyrie Irving to be in a bit of trouble. So moving into Game 3, this is where I'm opening the floor, especially with you, H, because I know that you're a LeBron supporter. You're a Knicks fan, so they're going through their own issues over there at the Garden. But I know you're a LeBron supporter. And a few weeks ago, we've been actually having friendly discussions and debates. Me, you, Rainey. Shout out to Rainey. He's not in here right now. Just throughout the entire playoffs on the East versus the West, the Warriors versus the Cavaliers, their competition, and what would happen when they got to this point. And I remember when LeBron James, I forget exactly what game it was, but when he decided to go pick up the beer, when he wanted to drink beer on the sideline, I said to y'all, this is LeBron I hate, because when he's winning, he's front running, and when he's losing, he's doing shit like he did last night, not going to the podium, which is required by the NBA in the playoffs, that your team send 1 or 2 players to the podium. God bless you. That you send 1 or 2 players to the podium post game. LeBron didn't do that. So it's like, so I'm just I'm opening the floor to you, H. What have you thought so far about LeBron's performance in these finals and what the Warriors are doing out there? Because Kevin Durant is doing whatever he wants to LeBron right now. We're gonna pick up we got a caller. We're gonna pick up this call right now. You're tuned in to These Urban Times. How you doing today, sir? Hello?
Hello?
Hey, how you doing? You're tuned in to These Urban Times. How you doing? Please say your name and where you're calling from.
This is Don from Atlanta.
How you doing, Don? How you doing today? We're talking about the NBA Finals. I know that you're a bit of a sports connoisseur. Also, let people know what you do and where they can find out, check you out, and everything you have going on. And then let us know your thoughts on the NBA Finals.
This is Don, the D in DNA. That's DNA Sports Talk. You can find everything about our social media on DNASportsTalk.com. So we do all sports, but I want to call in first, say congratulations to you and the show and the work that you're doing. So hats off and salute to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, what have your thoughts been so far through the first 2 games of the NBA Finals?
Status quo. I think everybody knew Golden State would come in and handle business the first 2 games, much like they did last year. No surprise there. The only thing that matters now is can Cleveland hold home court? And that remains to be seen. This was the same way it played out last year. Of course, everybody overreacts to the first couple of games. Granted, I understand that Kevin Durant is a significant upgrade to Barnes from last year at the small forward position, but it's still the NBA Finals, and there's still a lot of basketball to be played. I understand that you have Golden State in 5, which I can see based off of playing straight up. If the refs don't make a questionable call here and there, I will give you that. But I mean, it's still the NBA Finals. There's a lot of advertisements and a lot of cash to be thrown around. So 5 is a little less than I was expecting. I was expecting 7. That's all. Before
I let you go, briefly, a few moments ago we were talking about the Atlanta Hawks and the introduction of the new GM, Travis Slink. We catch a lot of games together covering the Atlanta Hawks. What are your thoughts on that?
Great move. Someone who's proven their track record, especially in building a team through the draft. Because I think for Atlanta, one of the issues is it's hard to get free agents to come to Atlanta, especially a superstar or a big name. So you're going to have to build your team through the draft. And besides Golden State and San Antonio obviously laying down the blueprint on how to do that, those are the two franchises who seem to have built through the draft, unless your Boston got 20 picks in three drafts. So I think it was an excellent move to have him come over.
Thanks, man. Thanks for tuning in. And one more time, just let the people know where they can check you out.
DNA Sports Talk. Appreciate the team.
Thank you. So H, I'm gonna open the floor back up to you once again. Shout out to DNA Sports for tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure you check them out and what they got going on. Very, very knowledgeable in the sports world. But what have your thoughts? What have you thought of the first two games of the NBA Finals so far?
Nothing really. It's no worries. The same thing happened last year. That's all I'm gonna say. Same thing happened last year.
Before we go into further talk, why don't we go ahead and show some highlights from Game 2, and we're also gonna give you guys a little bit of LeBron James, his post-game conference. It was kind of unique. It was kind of unique as we gave measure to it. It was not at a podium, and LeBron was very aggressive with some of the reporters. We're gonna let you check that out for yourself, and we'll be right back on Live Hip Hop Daily TV.